Well, ahoy there, cruisers! We're here and we're on a cruise for the first time in 8 whole months, and we want to share exactly what it's like from the boarding to what it's like on board and how things have changed since the COVID pandemic.
So come along and join us. We're on the SeaDream one from SeaDream Yacht Club, and we are super excited because, Ben, we're on a cruise!
We're on a cruise!
We're home!
So, should we first of all talk about the boarding of the ship? Well, it was a really seamless event, really. 3 days before we got on board, we had to get a negative COVID test. This had to be done up to a maximum of 72 hours before we travelled. So we organised that with a clinic in London and luckily got our results back in 24 hours. Yeah, arriving at the port was really fantastic. The port of Portsmouth were amazing, as well as the crew from the SeaDream who greeted us at the doors. All of our luggage was then electrostatically cleaned with a fancy little machine gun, wasn't it? And then once we got to check-in, it was a complete touchless operation. We basically just handed over all of the stuff we'd already filled in, like the health declaration form, as well as the passenger locator form. We were then called through by the ship's doctor to take a second rapid PCR COVID test. Ooh, this one made my eyes water a little bit.
This one really got in there. Really got into the nooks and crannies.
It wasn't painful, it just made me want to sneeze.
It just made my eyes water.
Not painful at all. And then about 15 minutes later, we saw the doctor come out. He was dressed in full PPE from head to toe and a big thumbs up, and we were like, yes!
We're on.
We're getting on board the ship. So whilst at the port, we had to wear masks at all times, apart from when we were getting the thing stuck up our nose. And then once on board, SeaDream don't actually require masks to be used because they're running at a lower capacity of guests, approximately half of what they normally would do. So there's so much space to social distance on board, as well as lots of other things. But we'll talk about that in a second, all of the different things on board that are different.
So on top of the COVID test, we also had a temperature test taken by the SeaDream team at the port, and they also took our oxygen levels in our blood. Apparently I was very high, which is very good.
99%.
99.
I was 98%.
Nothing really felt out of place apart from the test, really.
Yeah, it was really easy, quick. It looked like they'd been doing it for years. This is why we're so impressed, because remember, this was the first ever cruise from the UK, or the first ever cruise in the Caribbean since back in March time.
Yeah. Right, we've made it through security, we've had our tests, they came back negative, and we are now ready to board the ship.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And that's it, we went through security and we saw the ship, the SeaDream one. She only holds up to 116 passengers, and she was beautiful from the moment we saw her. We got to take a few pictures here and a few bits of video, and then we were greeted on board with champagne, cold towels, hors d'oeuvres and big smiles. She is such a stunning ship. We'll be bringing you loads of videos, so make sure you're subscribed, including a cabin tour and a tour of the whole ship as well. And then when we finish, we'll have some reviews as well as some vlogs of our experiences on board. We're now going to take you around the ship to show you some of the different measures that SeaDream Yacht Club are taking on board, as well as some of the things that we're going to be doing on our sea days. We've got lots of sea days on the way to Barbados.
So let's go and take a look at some of the measures that are on the ship to keep us safe while sailing, and some of the things that are different compared to before the shutdown. When we boarded the SeaDream one, we had the bottom of our shoes sanitised, and they had special mats as well to make sure that our shoes were squeaky clean before we got on board the ship. So every day at the concierge desk, we get our temperature taken using these screens here. It's super quick and easy. Just look into it, 36.6, and then they take a log of our temperature each day. So the entrance to every venue and at the doors in and out to the outdoor areas, you'll find hand sanitizer stations. These are all around the ship, so you can sanitize your hands at any time you want. So in the cabin on board, the cabin is cleaned twice a day, and it is deep cleaned and sanitized daily. Before we got on the ship as well, you could tell that the cabin had had a really, really good clean. You could just smell how clean it was. They also use a UV light technology, which is pretty cool. They place it in the room for 15 minutes and then turn the UV light on, and it sanitizes the entire cabin. So it's really awesome. Yes, so we feel super safe. We feel it's really clean, both in the cabins and around the entire ship as well. Because the ship has reduced capacity, it means that there's absolutely tons of space and outdoor areas where you can relax. You've got absolutely no problem grabbing a seat and still maintaining social distancing at the same time. What a gorgeous day. I mean, can you really beat a view like this? I am so happy that we are back sailing. It's absolutely gorgeous. Everyone's been really respectful and aware to maintain social distancing, but at the same time, everyone's super friendly as well. So we're still having conversations with people, getting to know everybody on board, and still having a great time, even joining in the team quizzes and the pub quizzes and seeing a movie in the afternoon. It's just that we're doing it while maintaining social distancing. And to maintain social distancing at some of the bars, a few of the seats have been blocked out so that we can't use them. And there's also signage around the ship just to remind you that you need to maintain social distancing while on board. Oh, I love this seat. There's so many nooks and crannies and places to hide away and just relax. This seat's really awesome. You literally feel like you're on the top of the ocean. It's really, really cool.
And as we showed you earlier on, there's loads of those hand sanitizing machines as well all around the ship. Some things that have changed dining wise, well, we'll be eating outside soon because when it gets warmer, the further south we go to the Caribbean, we'll start dining al fresco, which will be lovely.
When it's a little bit sunny like it is today, you eat outside for breakfast and lunch and for dinner on an evening if you request it, meaning you can dine with fresh air, reducing the risk of being inside, feeling stuffy and just getting some nice fresh air in your lungs while you're eating your dinner.
There is a buffet in place, but you can't serve yourself. Basically, there's a couple of waiters there with some special gloves and things, and you just point out what you'd like, and then they grab it for you. So it's still buffet, but no self-service. It really hasn't made much of a difference. And talking about the food, it is absolutely spectacular. The chef and his team are doing such a good job. It's some of the best food we've ever ate while sailing. Seriously, this whole cruise has pretty much been a normal cruise. We haven't really noticed any big differences. It was all really mostly in the boarding part and pre-cruise about preparing to come on board. But once that's all sorted out, you can sit back or lie back, relax and just enjoy these amazing sea views. And when it comes to the different ports that we're going to be visiting, it's a little bit different. Our next stop in Madeira is just a fuel stop and to get more supplies on board, but it's still going to be great. We are just enjoying being on a ship. When we get to the Caribbean, we can get off normally. We're going to 2 beautiful islands in the Grenadines, which we can't wait. We're going to somewhere called Kingston and then Meru Island, where we're going to have an amazing barbecue and caviar on the beach as well. It sounds absolutely fantastic. But we have to say, we would be just happy going on a cruise to nowhere. It's the ship that we love, it's the sea air, the beautiful breeze, and the people, so this is perfect. So here we have the main lounge, and there is so much seating so people can stay far apart and keep social distanced. I think there must be about 100 seats in here, and obviously with 34 guests on board, it's not a problem.
In terms of entertainment and what there is to do on board, it's pretty much how it was before the shutdown. So we've got yoga classes, we've got the gym, there's movies in the afternoon, we've got quizzes, there's the bars, there's even a pub quiz tonight, and there was a musical quiz last night with a live piano player. So it's very, very just the same as it was before.
Goodness. Well, it's great to see you all here. So good luck, everyone. We've got 15 questions for you.
Also in the main salon as well, you'll find loads of entertainment, things like shows and trivia. We have live piano and live music, as well as movies every day. There's usually a matinee at 2:30, then one in the evening as well. Sometimes that's shown outside during the night. How cool's that? And the movie's just about to start now, and I can smell they brought out the fresh popcorn. Oh, the lights are going down now because the movie's about to start. So shall we go watch?
The club and activity director, Anna, has been amazing, and she's essentially asked us what we'd like to do, the passengers on board, and is creating the entertainment programme around what people like to do in the afternoon. So if there's a particular movie you want to see, a particular game show you want to do, or a quiz, she'll do that for us. It's brilliant. There's even a golf simulator on board as well, so you can swing a putt. Is that a golf term? Is that a golf term? I've never ever played golf before. You can probably tell. Look at my stats. In the rough. And these Balinese beds are so comfortable and so inviting. Is there a better way to spend an afternoon than just laid under the sun, chilling, the sound of the waves in the background? I don't think so.
Well, place your bets, because here we are in the casino, and yes, it's open. You've got different spaces between each chair, which are cut off for social distancing reasons. and you can play blackjack or whatever you want. The cards or the coins and whatever are all washed and thoroughly sanitised between each and every use to keep you nice and safe.
And even in the public areas, there's lots of space to sit and relax in while maintaining social distancing. And yes, the ship is quieter than normal, but there's still a great atmosphere on board. Everybody is just super excited to be back at sea, chatty, friendly, and having a great time.
Gosh, there is nothing like this sea air. We have to say that SeaDream Yacht Club are doing such a fantastic job of keeping us all safe. The crew are constantly around the ship cleaning after everybody leaves the table, wiping it down. All of the banisters being wiped down all the time as well.
And also, you could feel from the crew and the other passengers how excited and sometimes emotional they were to be back on the water.
Oh my gosh, everybody we've spoken to are the same. We've got a mix of nationalities on board. So this cruise did originate from Oslo, picked up a few passengers there, then went to Rotterdam in the Netherlands to pick up a few people there, then to us in Portsmouth. So there's about 35 passengers on board out of the capacity of 116. So as you can imagine, she's feeling like a private yacht.
But everyone on board is previous cruisers, and I think there were some people on board have done more cruises than us.
Yeah.
And they were just eager to get back to the ocean. And the crew, like I said, they just were so
amazing,
happy to be back sailing. We've been chatting a lot with the crew on board just because we've had the nice time to do it, and that's what SeaDream do. Crew are encouraged to chat with guests and stuff.
And they're so amazing. The crew are so attentive and smart, and they remember our name everywhere. It's so crazy. It's really like a private yacht experience, but not paying that full cost you would do.
But all in all, just happy to be back sailing.
So that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed watching our first video. We're going to be bringing you so much content, so please consider hitting that subscribe button from the first ever cruise from the UK and the first cruise to the Caribbean since the pandemic. So hit that subscribe button, please.
Thanks to all our patrons for supporting us. It's your support that helps us keep the channel running with travel costs, equipment costs, and all the extra stuff that comes along with it. You can find out more about Patreon in the description section below. Cruise Captain of the Week this week is Alex. So ahoy there, Alex.
That's it till next time. Happy cruising or yachting.